have this yellow line marked out here about 69.62, so just about $69 to $70. This is my overall target for UPST, either by the end of this year or the first quarter of next year, 2025. Again, that's just my opinion based on what I'm seeing here. I think that there's a good chance if buyers can really start to step in, they can get the move up. Cheers to another good prediction. Upstart. We talked about it down when it was $30 over here. $30, guys. It was over here just about 30 bucks when I was calling out about this one last time. Had a nice run up, I believe, when we talked about it then, back in January of 24. That was sorry, I was right here. Had a little pop up, got ourselves up into almost 40. Had a pull back down to 20 where it became a base, got a base, and would you look at that? Hit our price target to the T. I said by the end of the year / first quarter of 2025 that we would see $70 again on this stock. I like the company. I think it was a good time to buy down here where it was. Perfect trade, guys. I wanted to come in here and let you guys know, an update on the video. I made that video back in January of 2024, earlier this year, and just as I had kind of expected, based on just the company itself. I know Upstart Holdings is honestly a really good, solid company, and sure enough, there's the push. So, what a move. What an absolute banger move. I know most of you guys probably didn't catch this, but hopefully this can kind of give you some insight into the kind of plays that I do call out. Did take some time to play out to get all the way up to that $70 mark. I thought it would have happened just a little bit sooner. It did stagnate over the summertime there, but at the very end of summer in August, we did get that pump. We finally got that push, the break up, and then broke above this previous resistance, psychological $49.50 level, based out on it, and just 2 weeks ago pushed up over 70, over 80, and topped out at $86 right here last week. So huge move on Upstart. Do I think it's done? Man, to be honest, there is a good chance that it could be coming to an end, as we do have, from prior, kind of where we wicked out this last week. We do have a pretty decent previous demand zone now turning into a supply zone. So honestly, at the moment, I'm not certain. The weekly wise last week did show a little bit more rejection, got a little bit more of rejection, but we also did just pop up from 47 up to 82. Literally a 100% move on the stock. Now, obviously, they had their earnings report. That's what really sparked this. But, it had a pretty massive move. Now, what I will say is my favorite tool here, the Fibonacci retracement tool, if we go from the bottom to the top, we just retraced into our favorite zone, the golden zone right here. So why do we call it the golden zone? 50 to 60% pullback retracement is the buyer golden zone. It is one of those spots where buyers will look to get in at a discounted price. As you can see, from that 40 to 80s, almost 100% move. So we have pulled back about 50%, making it the most ideal area for buyers to get involved. Now, after a big sell-off in the market there on Friday, November 15th, I think there's a good chance that we can see some market relief here. We also have this gap down from Monday into Tuesday from this past week, from about $72.50 up to about $77. So 72 to 77, got a $5 little push there that I think there's a good opportunity to push back up into. I think we're more likely to fill this gap before we fill this gap. Just my opinion. Again, I think pulling down, gapping down, and getting down to this 50 to 60%, showing some kind of strength there on Friday while the market was pushing down, would not be surprised to see if a market recovers here on Monday, or at least gets a relief bounce. Wouldn't be surprised to see this one also get some of that bounce as well. But wow, what a move. What an absolute banger of a play. Now again, I didn't call out any specific play. I'm not trying to take credit as if I said it's going to go to 70, buy this, that, and all that. But in theory, I did talk about it back at 29, 30 bucks, and it is up at 68 currently. So even if you bought it then when I talked about it for long-term holding, you would be up over 100% on your position. So it was a solid play. Like I said, I really just wanted to come in here, recap it, brag a little bit, and you know, just kind of explain my thought process with this one as far as moving forward, what you can potentially see. So that's really it, guys. I just wanted to check in, give a little cheers to all those who might have bought Upstart back then. I hope some of you guys did catch that video. Hopefully it did get you guys a nice little return on your investment. But yeah, just a crazy move, you know. Obviously, I'm not oblivious to if you had bought way back there when I called it out originally at that 30. I'm not oblivious to know that you would have been down. That would have been January. It was back in the beginning of January here. So even if you bought it back down there at the 30, like we were talking about, and it popped up to 37, you got a little gain. You know, if you held it down to the 22s, you still would have been down like 40% on your position. I get that, 30, 40%. I get that. You would have been down pretty decent amount. But if you held it for the long run, knowing that, again, I did believe that this is a very strong company. I still think it is a strong company. It can recover. But it does need to see some signs, because we are at a kind of pivotal area where, you know, this thing could drop back down. You know, just being honest with you, if they can't sustain the movement, if price action can't sustain the movement, then, you know, it could be back down. It goes. So this week will be pretty telling. If we get the bounce off the golden zone, push into that gap, and if we can continue higher, excellent. Or if we can just generally close out this candle this week on a fairly bullish, even if it's just more of an engulfing, staying within this kind of range here from 60s up into the 70s. I still wouldn't hate that. What I don't want to see is a continuation candle from this red one down into the lower 50s. Honestly, even into the 50s at all, I really don't want to see. So yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. Hopefully you guys got some shmoney on Upstart. And I'm going to try and get some more of these stocks out in terms of just some plays I'm looking at for long holds, as well as some plays looking for the weekly. Like I said, the weekly setup or the daily setup I was just talking about there, we're right in that golden zone. So there is an opportunity here. Break over Friday's high at about $69.80, $70. I think there's a good chance you can at least get a push to 72, possibly into this gap with some strength. So there's your free little play. I would, if I were in your position, I was doing this, I would buy 2 week out contracts at least. The December 20th, 2024 contracts, probably the most enticing. And I would look into probably the $75 strike if you do go with those December contracts. I think the $75 strike could probably go on the $80 strike as well and make some good money on a push into that gap. But that's my play for you guys. If you're new to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button. Like I said, comment down below, let me know what you guys thought. And if you do not have a community, you need a community to be a part of, check out Alpha Stocks Lab. Seriously, if you guys need a community, you need someone to hold you accountable, someone to teach you, someone to, you know, be with you in your losses, etc., etc. We have the community for that. Use code THANKS24 when you do join to get yourself 15% off here the holiday season, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.